Hey, how's it going, friends? I'm almost fully recovered from my operation, and that means that now I can go full-time into content creation again. That also means that for the people that I'm coaching, I am now taking up coaching sessions again. Do keep in mind though, after next week I will be in California, so there will be like a 2-week gap that I won't be able to coach again. So it's a bit unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. And the thing that we will be getting into today is Chane in the Blitz format. Personally, I think that Chane is probably the best deck in Blitz right now. The ceiling of this deck is just so high that it's almost a no-brainer that you should run something like this. And I think even when you splash stuff like Art of War, which is kind of janky in Blitz, it can lose you games at times. It just creates such a amazing dynamic that you can banish a Blood Depth card and then play it again later on in the turn. That it is just so good. It's just super good, and especially with all our non-attacks in combination with our Spellbound Creepers, we can pull off some very cool stuff. Of course, if you don't have the Spellbound Creepers, you can always just play the Snapdragon Scalers. It does make it so that you will be breaking your combat chain a bit more frequently than you normally would, but usually it doesn't really do much in terms of your combat chain length. Like sometimes being able to Spellbound Creep or something like a Minnowism onto the board can be very good to get an additional action point available to you to do something more, but I think for Blitz it's okay if you don't always have that, especially if you can work with a Snapdragon Scalers to kind of mitigate that loss of an action point, and you just need to play a little bit smarter with this thing and you should be just fine. In terms of like sideboarding and such, I will put a link to this thing down in the description so you can check out what sideboard things you need to bring for which heroes. But this is a Blitz deck that I've covered on my Patreon about a week ago. I think it's one of my most requested Blitz decks, period. Everyone wants to play Chane and Blitz lately. Well, not everyone, a lot of people want to play Chane and Blitz lately, so I went ahead, I fixed this deck up. It's pretty much like a simplified version of the Chane deck that I ran in the first Pro Tour a couple of months ago, but it is just pure gas, especially with Plunder Run being legal in the Blitz format. I still have the opinion that having too many 2-blocks in the deck like Belittle, Plunder Run, Howl from Beyond, as well as the Marvian Skies can be a little bit dangerous in the Blitz format, because you can get caught off guard by all the on-hit effects, especially since we do have Inverted Existence and Art of War in here as well that don't block for anything. But I just feel that the payoff for this deck are so huge, especially that you can pretty much keep one card in hand and just play stuff from the Banish Zone. That it's like, I don't know how to explain. Like it's on the one hand it's very dangerous to run it like that, but on the other hand you get these really disgusting turns like 25 damage on turn 1 when you're going second, and it just wins you games at the same time, so I am running them anyways. So I have a very nice combination between non-attacks and regular attacks. This is mainly to activate stuff like Go Again onto your attacks. I don't run things like Lead the Charge in here, maybe I should, but I've found that having Marvian Skies is enough in the Chane deck, simply because Chane's activation gives Go Again to something as well. So Marvian Skies with Shadow Puppetry usually gets the job done anyway, so I don't really run more than that in terms of giving Go Again to stuff. But then again, like I said, you have the Spellbound Creeper, so in a pinch you can always give Go Again manually by activating the Spellbound Creepers, and usually with this deck you can get like 2 or 3 Spellbound Creeper activations off if you're a little bit lucky. I'm not running any items in the deck. I do know that if you have some items in the deck and you are going second, you can pull off some nice shenanigans like blocking with an attack, then activating your Spellbound Creepers to play the item on instant speed, stuff like Time Snap Potion to get some extra activations during your turn. But I think for the Blitz format, especially since we already have so many 2-blocks and we already have the Inverted Existences and the Art of Wars, that is just not worth it. And I think if you're running this deck, you're gonna have an absolutely amazing time. It is a very high ceiling, very high damage caps available to it, and you just have a constant stream of card advantage. Like even in Art of War, in a deck like this is a huge card advantage, because for one, you banish a card, but if you banish a Blooded card, you can play it again that same turn, and you get 2 cards back, and you get the +1 attack and stuff like that. Or you could give Go Again in certain situations if you don't have enough Go Again available to you. It's just such a good deck, and I've been having an absolute blast navigating this. I'm even tempted, like I know that I've talked about this before, that I will be playing Ira at the World Championship, but Chane is just so good and it's so fun to play. I might be very tempted to just put the Chane deck together and bring it along for Worlds and play this instead, but I know I shouldn't. I feel I should stay on team and play the decks that I really love, which are the ninja decks, but it's tempting because how powerful the Chane deck really is. But yeah, give this deck a whirl. We have the Teleshar link here as well, so you can very easily play this thing over on Teleshar by just clicking on the link and then clicking Teleshar after that. I haven't really gotten any games in with this digitally. I only play this in real life at the moment, but it's a good deck and you're gonna have a great time with it. Also, if you want to support me and you want to get access to these decks early, because I do post these on my Patreon much earlier than my other stuff, so please feel free to join my Patreon. You will have access to stuff like Kasai, Dorinthia that I uploaded recently, and I will be updating a bunch of CC decks soon as well, like all teams, so keep an eye out for that. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and let me know what content you want me to cover next week, and I will get into that very soon. Anyways, thank you for watching everyone, have fun with Chane, and I will see you all next time. Take care.